What's going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for July 10th, 2025. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys had a great trading day. Just give me 1 second while I make the post. Make sure I post it on Discord. Alright, just gonna give everybody 5 minutes to join. We'll give everybody till 7:35, and then we will get started. We're gonna start the stream off first with a question that we had on Discord, which was on the trade that we took today on GJ during the live trading session. But again, just gonna give everybody another couple minutes to join and then we'll get started. The question was... Okay. Hey brother, hope you're doing well. What's good, Iman, brother? Doing amazing, man. I can't complain. How about yourself? Just gonna give everybody another 2 minutes to join, and then we'll get started. Mr. Bashir, welcome, my brother. How are you? How are you? Doing good? That's amazing to hear, man. Albert, just to let you know, we are gonna start with the question from Discord too, so that's the first thing we'll go over. And then we'll do our usual. Go from the top to the bottom, do our little breakdown, and see if we could catch anything for tomorrow. Please take your time. No, I got you, my brother. No, no worries. I got you. I'm gonna do a full breakdown, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but you also wanted to see like your main confusion was it how do you differentiate a high probability engulfing candle versus a low probability engulfing candle? Like that's your main confusion right now? Let me know if I got that right. I'm doing great, just dealing with some personal issues these days. It's all good, my brother. It happens, you know, we're all human at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We all have days, months, weeks where we gotta just take a step back, focus on what we gotta focus on, and then lock in again. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that at all, especially especially in the beginning stages of anything that you do, right? Whether again, it doesn't matter what skill you're learning, right? This is beyond trading, right? Because it would have been the same thing if you would have been in school. It would have been the same thing if you were training to work, whatever the case is, right? It's all the same at the end of the day, right? You can't really focus on what you need to do if things aren't 100% in your personal life. So 100%, man. There's nothing wrong. There's no shame in having to take a step back for a few days, focus up, and just handling your business, man. That's all it is. Just handle the business. Do what you gotta do, man. We'll be here. Again, if you ever need any help, you ever need to talk, you got me here. That's what we're here for, man. So then when you're back to get on the charts again, we got the one-on-one sessions. We have everything that you may need to come back and focus on what you got to do. So no problems at all. But yeah, Albert, let me know if that was the. I don't know if you heard the question. Well, I'll give you a minute to answer in the chat. If not, we'll just do the breakdown. Okay, cool. Yes, I never thought of considering that you had to consider previous day engulfing candles, and I think it could be an engulfing candle from the past 2 days before the retest. Okay, so never thought of considering that you had to consider previous day's engulfing candle, and I think it could be an engulfing candle from the past 2 days before the retest. Okay, so to get into that first, right? So yeah, if there's an engulfing candle, for example, it doesn't happen on the lower time frames, right? Like if there's a 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute time frame engulfing candle, those engulfing candles usually get hit within that same session, right? And that example happened on gold today. Just to take a step back, right? On gold, there was a 5-minute engulfing, and it was hit. It was just hit later on in the session, right? So if there's a daily engulfing candle, if there's a 4-hour engulfing candle, if there's a 1-hour engulfing candle, usually the 1 hours are pretty similar to how the 4-hour candles react, the 4-hour engulfing candles react, in the sense where the daily engulfing, the 4-hour engulfing, the 1-hour engulfings, they are formed. They're usually formed in a place where you're gonna be waiting for price to give you a shift, right, to then give you the pullback, if that makes any sense, right? So again, the daily engulfing, the 4-hour engulfing, the 1-hour engulfings, those could be set in the market, and the best example is USDZR. I'm trying to think of I like to give examples and show you it on the chart, right? So I'll give you the example. On USDZR, there's a daily engulfing down here, right? So we already know that, okay, where are we? Well, we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend, right? We know that price rejected highs, the same thing that it did over here, and it went all the way back down. The same thing that it did here, and it went all the way back down, right? It gave us the engulfing candle. It went up, rejected the highs. I'm expecting price to go back down. Now, does price need to come back and retest this daily engulfing? No, it's just another point of interest to have. But this is just an example of, in the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame, you want to look for these engulfing candles in areas where you're going to be looking for a retest, right? Whereas a high probability zone, that price is going to give you a retest in that area, right? So in this case for GJ, yeah, GJ, price gave us a 1-hour engulfing candle, right? Price gave us a 1-hour engulfing candle yesterday, gave us the retest last night during the the start of London session. Gave us the beautiful entry straight to profit, right? So let me know if that makes sense so far. I dropped a question on the Discord. I got you, Mr. Bashir. I'll read that out. Let me see. That was for GJ. Got you. That's the same. We'll break that down as well. I got you. Right. So let me know if that made sense so far, Albert. If not, let me know. I'm gonna take it literally step by step. This is pretty much a your session right now. This is your one-on-one session right now, since this was your question. Let me know if that made sense. Again, the daily engulfing, the 4-hour, the 1-hour engulfings, they're left in the chart in areas where you're gonna be expecting price to give you a pullback. Was that after the BOS, the 1-hour engulfing or the retest? The 1-hour engulfing was given before the change of character, and the entry was before the break of structure as well. It was just a change of character. So now your next question should be, well, okay, don't you wait for a break? Yes. However, what did we get before this engulfing candle? Where are we in the chart? Right? This is why it's very, very important to always keep an eye on the higher time frames. Because again, once you already know where you're at, you already know what you're looking for. Right? In this case, where were we? We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. Right? We're at the top of the 4-hour high. Again, for the new people watching us, the 4-hour highs, 4-hour lows are the blue rectangles. The daily highs and the daily lows are the gray boxes. And the 30-minute highs and 30-minute lows are the red boxes. Right? So in this case, let's break down the trade for today as to why I took the trade. Right? So first and foremost, where are we? Well, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. Right now, we don't know overall the direction just yet because we're still technically trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a higher low, and we've just been stuck in the zone of consolidation in peak high territory. This is the highest point in the market at this point, right? From this trend. So could we still say we're in an uptrend? Could we still say, or could we start saying that we're going to start the downtrend? Right now, we don't know, right? So I'm not focused on the overall pattern as of right now. What I'm focused on is just structure. What are we looking at right now, right? And what we know is, okay, cool. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. This is the area in the market that price has rejected these highs how many times, right? Rejected the lows, went high. Rejected the highs, went low. Rejected the lows, went high. Rejected the highs, went low. Rejected the lows, went to the middle. Came back down, rejected the lows again. None of these were break of structures. All of these were just testing candles. None of these candles broke lows. Then what happened? Rejected the lows again and came back to the top side. Back to the top side where? Not only in the area where price has rejected these highs already before 1, 2 different times, right? But we also know that we're at the top of the 4-hour high. So once you're in the 4-hour time frame, what are you looking for? Well, we're looking for our confirmation, right? And our confirmation that price was going to continue higher high, higher low to make another higher high would have been if we would have gotten a valid break of these highs on the 4-hour time frame. And what did we get? When you zoom in, I have a couple of drawings here, but you see that price came up, this red wick right here. It induced the 4-hour highs. So perfect. Once you saw that you got the inducement of the high and price started pushing down, this is now where you go into the 30-minute time frame. Why do you want to go into the 30-minute time frame? Well, that's the time frame that you're going to start looking for your entries, right? On the 30-minute time frame, what did we see price do? We were trending at one point. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Boom. At these higher highs, what did price do? Again, gave us the inducement of the 4-hour high, and price plummeted down, right? Not only did price start falling, but let's take a look at what we look at every single day on the chart. This is nothing different of what we do, right? What did price give us? 1 day of rise, 2 days of rise, and it gave us a 3rd day push to the top side, right? After the 3rd day push to the top side, what did price do? It gave us a drop. So what do we know about our rules? We know that when price trends 2 days of rise, we're going to get a 3rd day 100% of the time. If on the 3rd day price gives you a rise drop, you could be expecting a 4th day push back to the top side. However, when are you not expecting price to give you that 4th day push? Is when you have such a steep pullback at the end of the market. at the end of the session, I'm sorry. At the end of the session, if price gives you such a steep pullback like this, where at this point STP doesn't even make sense, because this is a 112 pip move on a pair that's giving you STP at 93, we already know that, we know two things, right? So I'm going to answer Mr. Bashir's question now. Why did we know that this was an invalid engulfing candle? It was because at this point, price already gave us the rejection of the 4-hour high. Keep that in mind. If price, right, we're going back to the 4-hour time frame. If price on the 4-hour time frame would have given us a valid break of these highs, then 100% we'll be looking for price to give us a retest in this area to go down to here. Now again, the question is, well, why would you be looking for that retest? It's very simple. Go back into the 4-hour, right? We could use 100 different confirmations as to why we were going to be looking for an entry there if price would have given us a retest. Or I'm sorry, if price would have given us a break. It's just a pullback. Right? In this case, the fib wasn't used. Right? So we can't use fib as a confirmation. So at this point, just on the 4-hour, I'm not going to do this on the 30-minute. I'm not going to do this just on the 4-hour, right? On the 4-hour time frame, we would have just been looking for a retest of this candle. And again, the reason why, when we're looking at structure, higher high, higher low, where did we get the valid break of structure? Right? All of these candles we're testing, all of these candles, let me do this, hold on, sorry. This makes it a little bit easier to see. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn the session breaks off. Right? We're looking for a valid break of the highs. Where did we get the valid break? It wasn't this candle, because this candle is still touching the break of structure. It's still a testing candle. None of these two candles broke because they never closed above the green candle wick. Price came back down, right? Inducement, just a testing candle. We didn't get the valid break until this green candle here, right? This green candle right here. And let's do something here so we could go back to the 30, so you can see the candle that broke on the 30, right? If price would have given us a valid break of the 4-hour high, we would have been looking for the retest of the structure to continue higher high, higher low, higher high, to give us a higher low on that green candle. And that green candle, when we're looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, remember these are on the 30-minute intervals, how many 30-minute candles on the 4-hour time frame, right? We would have been looking for a retest of this area here. And let's change the color so you can see again. Like, we're going to change this to green, go back to the 4-hour so you can see that that's the entire 4-hour candle that gave us the valid break of structure, right? If price would have given us that valid break on the 4-hour time frame instead of giving us this inducement that we see here, we would have been looking for that entry on this engulfing candle right here, which you could see that it induced traders to get into the trade, made them believe that they were going to go straight into profit. And then what did price do? Straight to stop loss. Once price gave you that inducement, notice how as soon as price gave you that inducement, right, let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings. As soon as price gave you that inducement, price printed that 1-hour engulfing candle in the exact same area. And that's it. After the inducement, you know price is going to give you a pullback. So that's the reason why I was not focused on this engulfing candle, and that's the reason why we shifted from saying that we were going to continue the higher highs, higher lows, to then, oh, okay, cool, we're going to start downtrending now. Right? And I just wanted to see, no, okay, so that was it. That's literally the entire breakdown of this from top to bottom. Let me know if that made any sense. Again, I'm not gonna move forward until the both of you guys, or anybody else in the chat, if anybody else is watching, until you guys tell me that you understand it. If you don't understand it, again, I'll take a step back and I'll explain it again another way if needed. But let me know if that made sense. Right? And at this point, what am I looking for? Right? Well, again, there's different patterns in the market that you could be looking for. This is a simple shoulder head shoulder. In order for me to continue to look for those continuations back down to the bottom, I need what we have drawn out here. I need to see a valid break of these lows. Did we get a valid break of these lows? Let's zoom in. This red candle here is still touching the break of structure line. It's still a testing candle. The second red candle here, not only did it not close below the wick, but it's still touching the break of structure line. It's still a testing candle. It's not a valid break. That is not a break of structure. That's a testing candle. Price went back up, retested, came back down. What did it do again? Testing the lows, testing the lows, testing the lows, testing the lows. Came back up, came back down. These two candles here, these are wicks. Touching the BOS is not a break. That's a testing candle. Came back up. This red candle still testing. Oh, but look, the opening candle closed below. Yeah, it closed below the break. But did it close below the break, the candle, the testing candle lows? No. It closed above it and it gave you another wick. This is not a break of structure candle. So at this moment, if we don't get a break and price starts giving us higher high and higher low, in this case on the lower time frame, we know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. If price starts giving me higher high, higher low change of character, higher high, higher low break of structure, boom, we start looking for those trades to go back to the top side. And the reason why, again, shoulder head shoulder is just another version of a zone of consolidation where price is rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows. Where do we think price is going to go? We think price is going to go back down if we don't get a break? No, it's going to go back to the top. The same shit is just in a different time frame. The same thing that's happening on the daily, the same thing that's going to happen on the 4 hours, the same thing that's going to happen on the 30-minute time frame. A zone of consolidation is a zone of consolidation in any time frame. It doesn't matter how you slice it up. Right? So I hope this made sense as well. Let me know if that didn't make sense. If you need me to explain this again, let me know. Well explained. Thank you, sir. Understood, but please explain more the candles that validate a break. You said something that makes me feel I need more explanation. Perfect. I got you. I feel like I've definitely shown this before on the stream. But here's a diagram of what it's looking like. These on the left-hand side are testing candles, right? This is the break of structure line, right? This is for the uptrend, this is for the downtrend, right? Price is trending up. The green candle closes above the break of structure line. It's still touching the BOS line, so this is still a testing candle. This green candle closes above the first green candle, but what's happening? The wick of the candle is still touching the break of structure line. This is still a testing candle. Same thing on a downtrend. If you're downtrending, boom, red candle closes below the break line, but it's still touching the break line, is still a testing candle. Another red candle prints. It closes below, but it's still touching the BOS line, is still a testing candle. A break of structure candle, again, on an uptrend, the first green candle still touching the BOS line is a testing candle. The valid break is the other green candle that prints, closes above that green candle's wick and is not touching the break of structure line. This is what a break of structure looks like. And this is where we'll be looking for price to give us a retest, higher low to continue into the higher high. Same thing on a downtrend. Again, the first red candle that closes below the BOS line, right, still touching the BOS line, is a testing candle. The valid break is that second red candle that closes below that first red candle's wick and is not touching the BOS line. If it's touching the BOS line, it's still a testing candle. If it closes below the break of structure line, but it doesn't close below this red candle's wick, then it's still a testing candle. The break of structure needs to close below the wick, and it also needs to make sure that it's not touching the break of structure. If it gives you the valid break, that's where you expect price to give you a lower high, right? A pullback or retest, lower low going into a lower high. That's when we'll start looking to take a trade to go back into the lower low. Let me know if that made sense. And again, how it looks on the chart is the same thing. Right? Again, we're looking for a break of structure here. Let's go into a chart. Well, no, we could do it here on the 30. Let me delete these drawings real quick. Right? Because it's happening here on the 30-minute time frame. Right? All right, let me start deleting all of this. I don't need all these lines on my screen. Hold on. I don't need that. I need that. Oh no, I need that. What is that? Shoulder, head, shoulder? Yeah, we need that. Call out, we don't need that. We don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need this, we don't need this. Okay. So now in the 30-minute time frame, we know that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us the change of character lower low. Gave us the lower high. What are we looking for? Again, in order for price to continue the downtrend push, we need to see a valid break of these lows. And if you notice it, the only candle that went below, right, and we'll draw it with a line if that makes it a little bit better, my bad, here. Right, this is the break of structure line that we need to see price break on the 30-minute time frame, right? This is a 30-minute break of structure. This red candle, just because it closed with a wick, right? It closed with a wick below. It's not the body, it's just a wick. Again, this is not a break of structure. This is a testing candle. What we want to see is for price to go down, right? So let's say price goes down, right? Boom, it closes. We have a red candle. I'm going to draw this out for you. Boom. Red candle prints. It closes below this candle. Is this a break of structure? No, because it's still touching the break of structure line. Let's say price prints another red candle and it prints below and is not touching the break of structure line. This is the break of structure, and this is when we'll start looking for price to go back up, give us a retest, to then continue. If this red candle, if the wick of this red candle is still touching the break of structure line, even though it closed below this wick, it's still touching the line. It's still testing. Let's say another candle prints and it's a green candle. It's a bullish candle. Right? Nothing happens here because it's a bullish candle. Let's say after this bullish candle prints, you have another red candle. And this red candle closes below the wick and is not touching the break of structure line. This is the break of structure candle. And this is where we'll be looking for price to give us a retest to then continue back down to the bottom. Let me know if this diagram made sense, if this made more sense as we draw it out like this. And again, it's the same thing on an uptrend. Let me know if you need me to draw that out on the uptrend as well. Can we take a step back? I understand we are in peak formation high. Got lost a bit when we had to go to the 1 hour and then back to the 30. On the 1 hour, I was just showing again what we were speaking about earlier, right? Which was the engulfing candle. Nothing happened on the 1 hour time frame. The only thing that happened on the 1 hour time frame was that price gave us the engulfing candle. That was the only thing on the 1 hour time frame. That's the only reason I went back to the 1 hour, so you could see that we had the engulfing. Again, before the 1 hour time frame, the first thing that you saw was the inducement of the 4 hour high. Once you got the inducement of the 4 hour high, go back to the 30. On the 30-minute time frame, price gave us a very steep pullback and it gave us a change of character. Once we saw the pullback, once we saw the change of character, that's when we went, you know, again, you see that every time I'm trading or every time we do these breakdowns, I go to every single time frame. The daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30, and then some pairs I go to the 15-minute time frame and we look for engulfing candles. So during our isolation session yesterday, we saw this hour engulfing candle. Once we were doing our breakdown in last night's session, which was on WAP, I don't believe anybody was there last night, right? We saw this 1 hour engulfing candle. Boom. 1 hour engulfing candle found. Perfect. That's it. We already know, okay, cool, we're going to be looking for a pullback in this area. That's where we'll take our trade to go back down to the bottom. Because we already saw price gave us the inducement of the high. It gave us the change of character. Price has to go back down. We know that we're stuck in the zone of consolidation at this point. Just going from the top back down to the bottom. This is it. Now I got it. Before I'm not considering the wicks, but now it is clear. Yep, you have to make sure that you're considering the wicks. Again, everything that the candlestick prints means something. Again, always remember that I say this. The language of the chart are the candlesticks. If you do not understand candlestick analysis, it's going to be very difficult to trade. Could you be a profitable trader without understanding candlestick analysis? 100%. Would you be able to catch these type of trades consistently every single time you're on the charts when there's an available entry if you do not know candlestick analysis? No. You might get lucky once in a while, but again, at this point, again, you know, I don't show this off to, you know, I don't want to show this to make you feel like I'm showing off and I'm like, look what I'm doing. No, I don't care about this, because if you guys have known, again, we've been doing these streams for free for 3 years now. I haven't shown a single profit for 3 years. I just started recently doing that. And again, more for the marketing, more for, let's try to see if we could get some more viewers in here, because for 3 years we've been doing this for free and we're sitting at 3, 4, 5 viewers, and that's okay. Right? At the end of the day, I'm not doing this for the views. If you're in here it's because you want to learn, right? So again, you're not going to be catching these trades consistently if you do not understand candlestick analysis. And it's very simple. This is my trading journal from 2025. This is public. I think I already posted this in the Discord, so you guys have this link, right? From January to today. Again, this was the trade that we took today, GJ. Let's go. I'm not going to open all of them because at this point, how many trades? We've done 27 trades this year, right? So I'm not going to open all of them, but let's open up a few of them just at random. I'll do the first 2, whatever this is, whatever this is. We'll just do, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 2 more. We'll do this one. We'll do some of the recent ones too. And we'll do this one. I think that I opened this one already. I don't know. I just opened them all at random. Let's take a look. 1 minute engulfing candle. After what? 2 days of rise. On the 3rd day, gave us that 3rd day push. This is AUD-USD. So what do we know about AUD-USD? Let's go back to AUD-USD. Just on the daily time frame. I'm not going to do a full breakdown. Just so you guys could see, okay, why did you look for those shorts? AUD-USD. Where are we? We're in a downtrend. We were looking for these shorts. That was back in January, right? That was an AUD trade when? Back in January? Oh, I don't even... Yeah, no, this was... I took these pictures today. I updated this today. Damn it. What, Oh, yeah, that was the first trade. January. Beginning of the year. Right? Beginning of the year, January. Where were we? March, February, January. Right, beginning of January. This is where we were. Lower low, lower high, to go where? Back down to the daily lows over here. That's it. It was a simple trade. We know that AU were in a downtrend. What do we catch? Damn it. What is the chart that I had open? That 1 hour engulfing after the 3rd day high. We had a change of character, break of structure on the 1 minute time frame. 1 minute engulfing, straight down to the bottom. Just so you guys could see again. This was not an engulfing. Oh, yeah, this was an engulfing candle, but this was an engulfing candle on the 4 hour, and I didn't have enough candlesticks to take this picture because of this was in the beginning of the year too. So I'm not gonna show that one. Boom. What trade was this? US 30, 5 minute engulfing candle, straight to profit, 0 drawdown. This was US 30 again. This was a 1 minute engulfing candle, straight to profit. Over here is another trade. 1 minute engulfing candle, straight to profit. These were back-to-back trades too. USD CAD, 15 minute engulfing candle. Boom, straight to profit. This was at 372. 2 days of rise, looking for a 3rd day push to the top side. 15 minute engulfing at the lows, perfect. This was a higher high. Where did we get the break? If you notice it, all of these candles, testing. Green candle testing, this green candle testing. Where did we get the break? We got the break here. This green candle was the break. So boom, we had the break, higher high. We were looking for a higher low. Higher low was set. After the higher low was set, we had a 1 minute change of character, break of structure, 15 minute engulfing candle, retest, straight to profit. GBPJPY, this was not an engulfing candle. This was just 5 minute change of character, break of structure, retest of the area to continue. That was not an engulfing candle. GBPUSD. Pretty similar trade to what we took today. Zone of consolidation. 2 days of rise. We're at the top of the daily high. We're at the top of the 4 hour high. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. What did we get? An inducement candle. Lower time frame. What did price give us? Lower low, change of character, lower high. At the lower high, what did price give us? A 30-minute engulfing candle. Boom, retest, straight to profit, straight to STP, back down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. These are the same trades. Like we literally take the same trades every single time we're on the charts. What trade? Bitcoin. 372 going short. This was just a simple 2 days of drop looking for a third day low. And we're in level 3, so we're looking for, or no, Bitcoin. We're in peak high. We're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. Perfect. Bounce off the 50, straight down into profit. Right? So that's really all it is. Like, we're trading the same thing every single time. Every single time. It makes sense. Okay. Yeah, been seeing your tweets with the profits, and I think the rectangular bar should be on lowest red candle with the lowest wick. Also thought that wasn't necessary earlier. Yeah. Anytime you're looking for the highs and the lows, you have to consider the wicks. So again, if you're trading, for example, in a 30-minute time frame, this is the easiest time frame to give the example in. Right? In this case, holy hell, we're gonna have to delete some drawings here, gentlemen. I don't like having this all clustered, but you can see that AU's playing out exactly what we talked about. Multi-session type 1 pattern to continue that counter trend back to the top side. You had a 5-minute change of character. Right? Did we end up getting that 5-minute break? Yeah, we did. We got the 5-minute break, the retest. You got the 5-minute break, you got the retest. You're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA, right off the 50 EMA to continue higher high, higher low, to continue that push to the top side. That's perfect. So anyway, 30-minute time frame. I want to go ahead and just delete some of this. Hold on. I'm going to delete this. I don't trade counters, so I don't care about having this on my screen. I just did this for you guys. Delete this. We had higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, lower low. Right? What I'm looking at when I'm looking at the rectangle, again, I'm looking at the lowest point, right, at these lows. So I know that the lowest point at these lows was this green wick over here. Right? And I'm not going to use such a small zone, so what I'm looking at is, okay, the lowest candle, and then I'm looking for that red candle, that first red candle, that first inducement. Right? Because these were the lows that were induced down here. Right? This low was made, price came up, came back down, gave us a smaller low, right? So I'm just using the first red candle, right? That first low that was created, and then I'm using the lowest candle in this area, which is that green wick. Same thing for the highs. Right? In the highs, we know that we're trading at this higher high. Let me go ahead and just delete this. Now we don't need this anymore. Right? At the high, I'm looking for the highest candle. In this case, the highest candle is the green wick. And again, I'm just looking for the last red candles before the push down, and this is a pretty good zone right here. That's it. I'm just putting it at that red, the body of that red wick. So from the highest candle to the body. Same thing on the 4 hour, same thing on the daily time frame. Let me know if that made sense, Albert. If you need me to explain anything like that, if you need me to explain anything else regarding to anything that we've talked about, let me know. But if you're good, then we'll get started. But let me know if you have any questions. Again, before we get started, I want to make sure that you guys understood everything that was talked about. If there's anything you need me to explain again, anything you want me to show again, just let me know. Shouldn't that be the red candle instead when you're looking at the body, or when you're looking at, again, you're looking at the highest candle, the highest point, the highest point. The highest point is the green candle, that green wick. What you're looking for, yeah, the red candle at the top. The red candle at the top was the one right next to it, this one right here. On the one at the bottom, you're looking for the last red candle before the push to the top side. Right? Again, I'm not going to use this one because this one is a very small zone. Right? This was the last push before the actual trend. Right? Because this is where the inducement was given. Right? The inducement was made of these lows, because previous to this, how would we have this marked? Well, previous to this, it was just this red candle here. This was the zone. Right? Price went up, but then it came down and gave you the inducement of the low. So instead of keeping my red box at the bottom of this wick, I'm just moving the bottom of my box to the green candle because that's the lowest wick, but I'm keeping the box at the last red candles, the body of this red candle, right? For the higher low, the reason I said the green candle again is because that green wick is the highest point. So I'm using the highest point in the higher low, which is the green wick. But yes, I'm looking at the last red, no, at the higher low is the last green candle before the push down. You confused me there. No, this is correct right here. In the higher low is the last green candle before the push down, which in this case was just the highest candle in the market, right? The highest candle in this higher low, right? There was nothing higher than that. At the bottom, at the higher low, I'm sorry, I just confused myself. I said higher low. At the higher high, let's take a step back. I'm sorry. At the higher high, you're looking for the last red. At the higher high, at the top, you're looking for the last green candle before the push to the bottom. At the higher low, you're looking for the last red candle before the push to the top side. Sorry, I said that backwards like 3 times, but that last time was the correct time. At the bottom, you're looking for the last red candle before the push to the top side. At the top, you're looking for the last green candle before the push to the bottom. Said relax, bro. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My brain is running 3 million miles a minute, man. I'm sorry. Mr. Bashir said, I got it all, though this is kind of episode I used to rewatch multiple times to digest everything. No, yeah, this is definitely how it should be. Again, something that E taught me very early on, when he was the one doing the classes, when he was the one doing the courses and everything. Rewatching all of these streams, again, the reason why these streams are uploaded after is not just for it to be there and for it to just be showcased on a trophy. Like, no. These videos are there for you guys to go back and rewatch them. When E used to do the sessions, I used to watch the isolation session live every single night at 7 p.m. If after the session, I used to be a student, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. And E would tell you this. When I was first learning with him, I did not ask any questions in the live stream because I was that kid. And remember, I was still in high school. I was 16, 17 years old when I was first learning. So the way I felt in my real life in school, I didn't want to put my fucking hand up. I didn't want to be that student to ask the teacher a question. Who wants to be that person? I got out of that shell when I realized in trading, like, okay, I need to ask questions. Because the only way to learn is to ask questions. Because if you just watch this stream, but you have no fucking clue what I just talked about, how are you going to know what's going to happen? Like, how are you going to get the information if you don't ask questions? Right? And trading is one of those skills that you need to ask questions. Because if there's something that you don't understand, the day that you live trade and you have no clue what you're looking at, you're going to lose. Right? So these live sessions are here for you to go back and rewatch. And that's why I always say, make sure you guys are taking notes. Because I guarantee you that if I tell you right now, what did I talk about 20 minutes ago? If you guys didn't take any notes, you're not going to know anything that I talked about. You guys are going to go back to your charts tomorrow, and the same mistakes that you guys took today, which thinking that that was a valid engulfing candle to go long, you're going to forget why I said that wasn't a valid engulfing candle. But if you took notes, and you have it written down, and you guys did good today. You guys said, yo, slow down, or yo, hold on, say that again. Let's take a step back. So you guys did good today. Right? Usually a lot of people don't really ask questions. So you guys did amazing on that part. Right? But if you guys do not take notes, how are you going to remember all this information? Because this is a lot of information. Trading is a lot of information. If you want to do this again correctly, if this is a career choice that you want to do for the rest of your life, you're going to need to understand, and you're going to have to know the rules like the back of your hand. If I ask you what your name is, you're going to know your name is Albert. If I ask you right now, Albert, what's your name? Oh, my name's Albert. No, shit, you could say that quick. But if I ask you, yo, Albert, how do you calculate STP? Are you going to be able to tell me that real quick? Are you going to be able to tell me what's the calculation for STP as fast as you could tell me what your name is? If you can't do that, then you're not ready to trade. It's that simple. Right? Because it's the same thing. If I ask you, if I open up a random chart and we look for an engulfing candle, and I ask you, hey, is this a valid engulfing candle? If you can't open up your chart and give me that answer in less than 5 minutes, you're done for. Because when you're live trading and price is giving you that retest, you don't have 5 minutes to get into that trade. As soon as that retest happens, if you're not in that trade in less than 5 seconds, that's it. Price is leaving you. And how many times have we seen that happen on stream? We already know how this goes. That's why it's very important to know the rules like the back of your hand, because when you are live trading, when you are placing a trade, you don't have 10 minutes to analyze the chart if price is already at your entry point, because you know that price is going to leave you. You're going to be late. And this is why we always say the analogy. If you get to the bus stop late, if you got to the bus stop 5 minutes late and you see the bus driving a mile down the road, are you going to chase after the bus, or are you going to be a good boy and sit there and wait for the next bus? Because you're late. You're not going to run towards the bus. You're not going to catch it. The shit's going fucking 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. You're not running that fast. I promise. It's the same thing in trading. If you missed a trade, that's it. You missed it. You have to wait for the next one. It's that simple. I have a journal specifically for this class. That's perfect. Me personally, I have 4 journals, front page and back page, a composition notebook of just notes of trading. I have 4 composition notebooks completely filled out with just notes. From when I first started trading till I stopped, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I stopped journaling, like real on paper. I stopped journaling maybe 2 years ago. So from 2018 to 2023-ish, I have 4 composition notebooks filled with notes. The first 2 journals were all my notes from when I did classes with E, and my other 2 were just pretty much my trading journals for when I started doing the classes and I started teaching. So it's very important to have these notes, guys. There's nothing more like writing this shit down and having it in front of you. Again, still to this day, on my whiteboard that's right in front of me every single day, I have the most important things that I think are the most important things to be able to see every single day, which are engulfing candles, right? The engulfing candles, I have them drawn out on my whiteboard. Literally, I have them drawn out on my whiteboard. I have the exhaustion candles drawn out on my whiteboard. I have the type 1, type 2, and type 3 patterns drawn out on my whiteboard. And I have the market makers pattern drawn out on the whiteboard. Every single day I see that. Every single day. And the market makers pattern that I have drawn out isn't even on the whiteboard with marker. It's literally a piece of paper that I had from my journal that I had drawn out, and I ripped the page out of the journal to tape it on my whiteboard. And we're talking about somebody that's been trading and started learning how to trade in 2017, 2018. It's 2025 and I still have those papers. And I've moved with this whiteboard, and I've moved with those papers 5 or 6 different times already. And they're not torn apart. I treat it like gold. I do not let those papers go missing. It looks like that paper was drawn yesterday. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's very important, man. When you have things that are important to you, you keep them safe. Because the morning that I wake up and I don't know what I'm looking at, I go and look at the board. Like, yo, what am I looking at on this board? So, again, guys, any questions? We pretty much did a 40-minute one-on-one session, man. That was pretty nice. Haven't done that in a little bit. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. If not, we'll start with the isolation session. Again, we'll go in order from the top to the bottom, starting off with AUD, USD, finishing off with US oil. Again, the pairs that we're going to go over are the pairs with the red folder, the red flag next to their name. But again, before we start, Albert, Bashir, any questions? Anything else you want me to explain? Anything you want me to break down again? Anything that didn't make any sense, let me know. Albert said relax, bro. Fuck, man, I'm sorry. You funny, bro. Gonna give you guys another minute, man. 8:20, I'll start the class. Give you guys another 40 seconds. Nothing for now. All right, perfect. Was the 6 hours of babysitting stressful? No, it's not stressful because we know what we're looking for, right? So I could break that down too before we start the session. Just so you can see why I was babysitting it too. So usually, right? You guys know me, right? Usually, once I seen that price came back to these lows, and we just started disrespecting these lows, I was like, ah man, do I close? Do I just fuck it, wait it out? But we got lucky today. Why did we get lucky? Because we printed a 15-minute engulfing candle, right? Once I saw this 15-minute engulfing candle, I was like, okay, well, I already know what am I looking for. I'm looking for a valid break, right? Because we're still downtrending. So I already know that this engulfing candle is not a high probability bullish engulfing candle. So what do I need to see before I could consider that price is turning around? I needed to see a break of the actual engulfing candle, the entire candle, not just the body, not just the green candle. No, I needed to see a break of the entire pattern. Again, the 3 candles. So what I was looking at was the top of the first red candle, right? Obviously, I just put my box at the bottom because that's where we would put our stop loss if this were to turn around, right? And what I was looking for was a valid break of the highs, right? And I guess it's always a little bit easier if I just put the line instead of the rectangle. Did we get a valid break of these highs? No, right? This red candle here testing, this green candle here testing, came back down. This green candle here, it was the wick testing. This red candle testing, this green candle testing, this green candle testing. This red candle came back down, boom, testing. Green candle testing, came back down. Once 1 p.m. hit, I was like, all right, I'm not going to hold this anymore. Even though we didn't get a valid, even though price never turned around, and I saw that price was just inducing these highs, you always got to think about everything else that takes into consideration, which is if we were to hold this trade, let's say, remember, the market closes at 5. There's some brokers that at 4 p.m., you cannot modify the trade anymore. Meaning you can't close it, you can't open it, you can't move your stop loss, you can't move your TP. At 4 p.m., the market is closed until the market reopens again at 5 p.m. Meaning that if, in this case, because it did happen, right, STP wasn't hit until 5 p.m. Literally, as soon as the market opened, it hit STP. It hit STP and it gave you a little retracement. We can see that price is going down. So this is good. If we could get a valid break of these lows, we'll look for continuations on GJ, right? So what happens when you leave a position open from one day to the next? The broker is going to charge you what they call a swap fee, SWAP. That swap fee, it varies. I did it once and I fucked up once not even recently, maybe last year. It was a gold trade that I had completely forgotten about. I'm not even gonna lie. And when I went to open my chart and I saw a $600 swap fee, I was like, you guys are fucking crazy. So I already learned my lesson from last year. I can't do that. I cannot leave a trade open from one day to the next, from one market session to the next. I'm not gonna deal with that. So it's all good. As soon as 1 p.m. hit, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna hold this anymore. It's already 1 p.m. I usually don't even trade after 10:30. So the fact that I was looking at this, but to answer the question, was I stressed? No, because I already was in profit. I already knew, okay, I fucked up already without closing when prices were already at these lows. I'm just gonna wait to see what structure does. So that's the only reason I babysat it, was because I violated one of my rules, which is price is already giving you the inducement to the lows here. Just get out. And we're talking about I held for an extra fucking 7 pips. Like, that's stupid, right? So even though I won the trade, I'm still kicking myself because instead of cashing out 7 pips before the STP, I gave back the market 27 pips. And you already know 27 pips, we're no longer talking about a 10-cent lot size, right? 27 pips is 27 pips. So what could have been a pretty big trade, which again, I'm still grateful for. We still caught 53 pips. It's fucking amazing, right? It's amazing. It's a great trade. But we're talking about I just missed out on a couple dollars because of some stupid mistake that I made. And again, it's all good. And I ended up babysitting the trade too. So I did damage on the chart and I had to do damage control. And the damage control was looking at the structure. Price can't shift and just skyrocket, where we had no news, we had nothing. We already knew we weren't going to get some crazy volume today. Price literally did 100% of STP. That's all we did today. It didn't give you more, it didn't give you less. It gave you 100% of STP. Right? So, you know, again, to answer the question, was I stressed out babysitting the trade? No. I was just upset at myself that I put myself in a situation where I got greedy for 7 fucking pips. You see what I'm saying? And that's already 2 mistakes this year that I've made. I made it today with GJ, and then the first mistake was the only trade that we lost this year, which is GCAT. Which again, the mistake on that was pretty similar to what happened today. Very similar. Again, you know, human nature is to make the same fucking mistakes every single time. But it's the same thing, right? What happened with GCAT? Well, GCAT, we knew we were at these highs. Price gave us an inducement of the high, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to continue to trade this because we have a 3rd-month high push to the top side. But we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. These were all inducement candles, right? Once I saw that we were in profit, I should have gotten out of the trade already. Once I saw that price gave us the retest, gave us the push back to the top side, and we started getting inducement candles, I should have got out of the trade. And instead of getting out of the trade, I let price go to stop loss. Right, which was stupid because we're talking about I could have been in profit. I could have been happy with 24 pips, and instead of getting 24 pips, I lost, what was it, 4 pips. Which again, good damage control at the end of the day. From a 4 pip stop loss, the initial stop loss was actually 10 pips. So moving my stops to closer to break even and into a closer level allowed me to not lose as much as I would have lost, but it's still a loss. And the same reason, the same mistake that I made today on GJ is the same exact mistake that I did for GCAT on this trade, which was in April. And think about it, I still fucking remember this trade. So you already know that I think about this goddamn trade at least once a day. And that's a fact. I do. That sounds crazy, but I swear to God, I think about this trade every single day. And the fact that I pretty much made the same mistake today, again, it just goes to show you we're not robot. Right? We're gonna make mistakes. But once you make the mistake, okay, how can you deal with the damage control? And that's what we did today. We dealt with the damage, we did damage control, we did what we had to do, perfect. So, again, was it stressful? No, not at all. Was I bored? Absolutely I was bored. But that's what I get for being stupid. But trading should not feel stressful. There will be a point in your trading where you're not going to feel stressed anymore. Now, if this was me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, absolutely. Even 3 years ago, absolutely I would have been stressed out. 100%. But over time, over the years, again, how many times have I seen these patterns? How many hours do I have on the charts? There's no need to be stressed. We already know what we're looking for. We know what we're looking for, right? I'm stressed if I'm gambling, right? If I go to the casino and I'm down $10,000 and I'm just trying to gamble to win it all back, of course I'm going to be stressed. But this isn't gambling. We already know what this is. This isn't gambling. We know what we're looking at. We know what we're looking for. We have rules. We have our rules in front of us every single day. What is there to be stressed about? We have literally nothing to be stressed about when it comes to trading. But again, that all deals with confidence. Are you confident in how you're trading, right? And confidence is just the definition of whether or not you lack the experience, right? And lacking the experience goes into, did you put enough time to study? Did you put enough time to backtest, right? Because now I'll ask you this question. I don't know anything about your personal life, so I'm just going to give you a random analogy and a random example. And I'll give you an example that everybody goes through in life. So this isn't just based on one person. When you're in school and the teacher tells you on Tuesday, hey, you have to write about this and you have to present it in front of the class on Friday. Cool, you go home, the week passes, Friday comes. You're going to have the students that are stressed. You're going to have the students that are nervous. You're going to have the students that are anxious. And then on the other hand, you have other students who are super excited to do their presentation. What's the difference between those students? Exhibit A, the students who are nervous, anxious, stressed, you think they did their paper and they studied it and they proofread it and they did what they had to do? Or do you think they had ChatGPT write their paper and now they don't know how they're going to present because they don't know what they wrote their paper about because they just copy and pasted? Right? And exhibit B, the students who are excited to go to school on Friday, the ones who are ready to present, the ones who are happy about it, what do you think they did? You think they copy and pasted? You think that they did it in the morning before class started? Or do you think that on Tuesday when they went home, they started writing about what they had to present and they got ready for the presentation? It's the same thing. When you play sports, if you play baseball, you think a professional baseball player, when he steps up to home plate to bat, you think the batter is nervous? You think he's stressed out? No, he's a professional. How many hours of practice does he have? What the hell does he have to be stressed about? He knows how to hit. He's done it millions of times before. So it's the same thing when it comes to trading. How many times have we seen this play out on the chart? How many times have we seen this play out on the chart? Hundreds of millions of times. We see this all the time. And again, the example is on the trading journal that I showed you guys earlier. All the trades that we've taken, they're all the same trade, looking for the exact same thing. Where we have sets of rules, we're looking at the chart, we're following our rules. What do we have to be nervous about? We already know what's going to happen before it even happens. Now, if you took a trade before you even saw your rules play out because you said, fuck it, I don't know what I'm looking at, I'm just going to take a trade, of course you're going to be stressed out. Of course you're going to be nervous because you don't know what you just took. You just took the trade because, I don't know, your neighbor told you to take the trade or something. I don't fucking know why you took the trade. Because it wasn't in your rules. If you don't know what you took, how am I going to know what you took? The neighbor, the ant, the bird outside. I saw a video earlier this week of some guy on TikTok. He gave his pet chicken, he has chickens, 2 buttons, right? A green button and a red button, and he put rice on both buttons. And then it's a buy and a sell button. And he's like, okay, chicken, go pick. The chicken goes to the fucking sell button, eats the seed on the sell button. Okay, cool. He goes to the chart and places a sell. Like, yo, if that's how you guys are trading, then perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I can't help you with that. It is what it is. I guess I gotta go find myself a chicken and go feed it some seeds to see what we're gonna trade tomorrow. Like, this shit's crazy. It doesn't even make any sense. So, again, no, I don't stress when I trade. Like, that's, again, if you would have asked me this question 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said yes. But at this point, I have nothing to be stressed about. I really don't. I'm more stressed on the days that I don't take trades because that shit's boring as hell. But days like today, days like we've had for the last 2-3 weeks at this point, again, like, I think I've taken more trades in the last 3 weeks than I have this entire year. Let's pull up the sheet again. I'll tell you guys right now. Some of the dates are messed up on the sheet, so I don't even have the right dates on all of them. But think about it. January, I took 4 trades. February, I took... No, some of these dates are wrong. February, I took 6 trades. March, I took 2 trades. April, I took 4 trades. I didn't take a trade in May. In June, I didn't take a trade until... The last trade we took was the 29th of April, which was that losing trade on GCAD, and I didn't see nothing on the chart until June. I didn't take a trade for a whole month, right? And it was June 22nd, so it was almost literally a month and a half of no trades. And then in the month of June, we took 2 trades, and then July, we've already taken 1, 2, 3, 4. We've already taken 5 trades in the month of July. So I've taken more trades in the last 3 weeks than I have in the last two months. Like, shit's crazy. So no, I'm not stressed. Because again, we didn't take a trade. Why? Because I was scared? No, I didn't take a trade because there was nothing on the charts. Again, we could go back to the live streams for the entire month and a half that we didn't take a trade. Every time we woke up, there was nothing on the chart. ADR was already hit. STP was already hit. We were in a zone of consolidation. Price was moving counter trend. Cool. What did we say we need to look for? We need to wait for the breaks. You don't have the link? I got you. I'll send it to you now. It should have been in the Discord. I'll send it to you now. So yeah, man. Nah, I don't stress out when I trade because again, we already know what we're looking for. We already know what we're looking for before we even start taking trades, right? And then we know what we need to look for before we take a trade. And then when you're in a trade, you also already know, well, cool, you're already in a trade, and now you just gotta fucking wait for price to give you what it has to give you. I sent it to you, Albert, on Discord. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'll give you guys another minute. I'll give you the minute on the trading view chart. So just a few seconds. Let me know if you have any other questions. This is not the right thing. Where is it? Synchronize. There you go. So one last time, GJ's trade was on the BOS considering structure. Yes. GJ was just saw. Okay, perfect. GJ was on the engulfing candle. The retest of the engulfing candle after the inducement of the 4-hour high. All we had on GJ was just a change of character and the retest of the engulfing candle on the 1 hour. We did not have a break of structure on GJ. Now for the trade for tomorrow, for Friday, the trades going into next week, Monday and Tuesday, right? What will we be looking for? Well, again, you can see now how price is reacting. This red candle that just closed 7 minutes ago, did it give you a valid break? No, it's still testing. Not only did it not close below the line, but it's still touching the line. It's just a wick, still testing. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a valid break, right? And then if we get that valid break tonight, then we know that for tomorrow morning in the NYC session, we'll be looking for a retest to then continue that push back down to the bottom. So for these upcoming trades on GJ, yes, I will be looking for a valid break of structure before I take a trade. I got a DM 10 minutes ago. Look at USD CAD. Let's take a look. And man, that was beautiful. Picture perfect trade. Change of character, break of structure, retest. Fucking straight up. Yeah. Is there news or something? Like, what's going on? The the volume we didn't get today in the charts, we got it fucking at the market open with no news. It's crazy work. Let's take a look at USD CAD. Were there any engulfing candles or anything here that we could have seen? Right. Well, first of all, we had the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. Perfect. That's already one confirmation. Yo, you got the break of structure. You got the retest right on the 50 EMA. That shit's picture fucking perfect. Right. 30-minute time frame. Do we have any engulfing candles down here? No. We did not have any engulfings. On the 15, did we have any engulfing candles? Let's take a look. Nothing on the 15. Almost. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. 5-minute engulfing candles. Nothing here. Damn, they clocked us with a flip zone. But no. No top wick on the green wick and no bottom wick on that red candle. Did we have an engulfing candle anywhere here? Red, red, green, but this green candle does not have a bottom wick. No, no engulfing candles. All you had here on USD CAD after the break of structure was just that 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. You had the 800, but the 800 wouldn't have given you anything clean. The 4-hour is the cleanest one. That would look something like this. Boom, we got the 50 EMA. You have the structure down here, right? 21 pips, stop loss, and then you have STP. Alright, which at this case, 75 pips. It's 50 pips. From here to 50 pips is the high of yesterday. That would have been the trade. I'm gonna save this. This is a good example. I'm gonna save a picture on the 4-hour. Then the confirmation. Okay, perfect. Alright, so yeah, Albert, Mr. Bashir, if you guys are still in here, any other questions real quick before we get started with the isolation session? Pretty much already been doing this for an hour. It's kind of crazy. It's gonna be the longest session I've done. Still here? Okay, perfect. Any other questions about that GJ chart before we get started? Let me know. He said just get it on, bro. Alright, perfect. We'll start. Just wanted to make sure, 'cause I know Albert was scratching his head today, man. I just want to make sure you guys are good. I know it's late for you guys too, so I'm sorry about that. Truly, I really do appreciate you guys being here. I'll finish the isolation session quick. It won't take more than 25 minutes, I promise. Like that breakdown that we did already on GJ again, we trade this every single pair we traded the same way. So I do not have to break down. After the hour session that we just had, I do not need to do another breakdown on any other pair, to be honest with you. Everything you guys need is on that literally on this hour segment. Honestly, is one of the best sessions I've experienced. I appreciate that. Like I said, like, you know, if we don't ask questions, I can't have good sessions. You know what I mean? Like if we don't have any questions in the chat, if nobody's asking any questions, I just do the isolation session how I do it, and that's it. Because you know, imagine if we were to do these sessions 3 hours again. E used to do every session like I'm doing it, like we just did it. He used to go through every single fucking pair, and we used to look at 26 pairs. We used to look at every single pair. Imagine. E used to do that exact same breakdown that we just did on GJ. He used to do that on every single pair. That guy's a fucking lunatic. He's crazy. That guy's fucking crazy. But that's the reason he's a fucking great ass trader. That's the reason why he doesn't even need to fucking trade anymore. And then the proof is there, man. This is why I keep doing it, because that's the type of level that I'm trying to reach at. I don't copy people who aren't successful. And the only reason I still do these sessions, on top of the fact that I love teaching people how to do this shit, Yo, it's because that fucking lunatic showed me that the only way to be successful at trading, not even to be successful, to reach the level that you want to reach at, you need to put in the time. It's the same thing again. Like when you're playing a sport, you don't just practice for 20 minutes. When you play a sport, you're practicing for 4 or 6 hours a day. So let's get it on, man. I don't gotta give any more examples, right? Let's start it. I know it's late for you guys. No, nothing to be sorry about. I appreciate that, but I do feel bad because I know it's late for you guys. So let's just start again. I'm gonna go through this pretty quick. If you guys have any questions, if you guys need me to go back on any pair, just let me know, and we'll gladly do that. But if not, I'm just gonna really run through this. Again, pairs like AU that are trading counter trend, I don't need to say anything about it. We're just gonna update it. I don't, I don't trade going counters, so I don't need to worry about this right now. Let me just delete some of these drawings. I have so much here. Okay. So we had the change of character to the downside, and we just had a change of character back to the top side. We'll just update this real quick. Again, still moving counter trend, but it's moving perfectly. Exact same shit that we said was gonna happen on AU is happening. But once again, I'm not taking trades going counter like this. I'll wait for the real move to happen, which is gonna be when that lower high is set. We'll take the trade from the lower high, going back to the lower low, man. It's gonna be that simple for us. Sorry, I just got a text. Okay. 30-minute low, 30-minute high, perfect. Go back to ACAD. It's almost 1 a.m. here, yeah, but that's crazy. Trust me, I know your pain, man. I had to deal with it with E. Now you gotta deal with it with me, man. ACAD is another pair moving counter trends, so I'm not gonna be trading this one. We're just gonna update it. We have 2 days of rise. Today's the 3rd day. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. Alright, we had a 372 going counter, which was hit. Perfect. We're trading higher high, higher low, back into the higher high. Perfect. Right, and again, ACAD, we're still in A1, which is the first zone of consolidation in a downtrend. EA is in level 3. We are still in the uptrend, still wanting to reach peak high territory, but we are still trading at the higher high. Again, the same reason why the GJ engulfing candle didn't work. This is a perfect example. Let's go ahead and delete this here. I forgot about this pair. Right, the same reason why GJ's engulfing candle didn't work is the exact same reason why EA's engulfing candle here on the daily time frame didn't work. Why? Because price gave us an inducement. Price gave us an inducement of the high. It did not give us a valid break. So we cannot expect price to give us a break retest if price never gave us a break. And that's the reason why that engulfing candle did not work out. The exact same fucking reason as to why GJ's trade did not work out. Again, guys, this is copy and paste of every single pair, man. It's all treated and all traded the exact same way. There's no difference. We're looking for the same thing every single day. We had higher high, higher low, higher high, and price gave us a change of character today back down to the bottom side. So we now know that we're trading between this 30-minute low over here. And again, to not confuse you guys, we're looking for the lowest candle, which is this red wick here, right? And the red wick, or the red candle that I'm looking at, was the lowest red candle before this inducement was created, right? So this is the low that I'm looking at, the red body of this candle, and I'm looking for the lowest wick, which is this red wick over here. So these are my 30-minute lows. And then our 30-minute highs is the same one up here. Again, the last green candle before the push to the bottom side. Perfect. The last green candle is also the candle with the highest wick. That's the zone in the 30-minute time frame. Right? And EA, again, we know we're in an uptrend. Is there anything else here? Nope. We have 2 days of drop, 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. Just look at how price is reacting to these lows. We have a red green engulfing candle. Will I take this? No, very low probability. And we have a lot of volume coming into the market too at this point, so we'll see. Right, and why is this low probability? Again, because price gave us an inducement of these highs. If price would have given us a valid higher high on the daily time frame, then yeah, we could say, all right, this is just a higher low. to continue into a higher high. But no, it is not that. So this is a low probability trade for me. 1:46 a.m. Yeah, bro, that shit is crazy, my brother. My bad. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm just answering a question real quick and to one of my students real quick. Um, Sorry about that. Okay. ECAD daily time frame. Right, this is a pair already that we've reached previous peak high. We're still trading at a higher high in level 3. We're sitting at the higher high still in this area. No continuations. We have a little zone of consolidation here, so we already know this is one where we're just gonna have to take a step back. Right, price gave us a change of character and then just consolidated. And in the 30-minute time frame, again, we're still just stuck in the zone of consolidation. No valid breaks. Price is still moving. Oh man, wrong tool. Still just moving sideways. So I will be taking a step back from trading ECAD. EU daily time frame. We are in level 2 in an uptrend. We're trading at a higher high once again. Once the second push was created, higher high, higher low, we're trading at a higher high. Right, we have our daily high, our 4-hour high, 30-minute high. On the 4-hour time, we got 2 weeks of rise, but again, we're trading at a higher high. I'm not expecting price to make higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Right? So already at this point, we already know for Friday, we're not going to see price give us that 3rd week push. And we've seen that already in the beginning of the week. What did price do? Right? We know that we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? And this entire week, for the last 3 days, what has price been doing? Just consolidating. Rejecting lows. Creating more lower low, lower low, lower low. What did price do here? Another lower low. Right? Same thing that we've been tracking this for since Monday. And I've said it. I'm not looking for trades because price is still giving us lower low, lower low, lower low. Price is still in the zone of consolidation. At no point did price ever give us a turnaround. At any point. Right? So EU still moving counter trend at this point, right? We have the break, the change of character. So let's change this real quick to the change of character. Right, from here to here, which is this red candle here. Change of character, change this to red. Right, we have our 30-minute high, which is still up here, which is good. But our 30-minute lows are now over here. And my 30-minute low, again, the last red candle before the push to the top side. Perfect. Right, so EU's moving counter trend at this point, still not looking for anything on EU. So it's supposed to be on the lowest red candle wick, but the break should be on the first red candle, which printed. The bottom of the rectangle should be the lowest point in that low. The top of the rectangle should be at the bottom body of that red candle at the bottom. Vice versa for from the top to the bottom. The top of the box, when you're at a higher high, the top of the box goes to the highest wick at the high, and the bottom of the box goes at the top of the body of the last green candle before the push to the bottom. So for example, on the daily time frame here, the top of the box goes to the highest point at the high. The bottom of the box goes to the last green candle, the top of the body of the last green candle before the push to the bottom. Let me know if that makes sense. GA, we're in level 3. We've already in peak high territory at a higher high. What is price doing? Sideways movement. Am I going to be trading this? Absolutely not. So what are we going to do? On top of everything else, we have a change of character, we have a break of structure, lower low, lower high gave us a change of character, right? Then price again went back down to the bottom and gave us another change of character. And we now know that we're trading between this high and these lows at the bottom that price printed today. Yo, GA moved a lot today. I didn't even see that earlier. So same situation here. Where am I going to put my box? Right? Before these lows were printed, we saw the last red candle before the push to the top side, which was this red candle, the body of this red candle. But the lowest point at these lows is the bottom wick of this red candle. Now, could we use, look how small this zone is, right? Does this give you enough room? Does this give you enough space for price to do something? No. So instead of using the body of this red candle, I'm just going to go ahead and use the body of this red candle. And this is the zone that we're trading in. We have a little bit more space for price to come down, a little bit more breathing room. It's a little bit more comfortable than having a smaller zone just like this. Right? So we'll just put our zone just like this, have a little bit of room left for price to breathe and do what it needs to do. Nah, I got you. I'll continue to do it. Every time I have to change the 30-minute lows or 30-minute highs, I'll explain it. Right? So just for GA, for example. Right? That was another example for GA. Every time I have to update a 30-minute, a high or low, I'll update it for you. And I'll give you the example. I'll give you the explanation. For GCAD, where are we? At a higher high. Level 3 in an uptrend. We know that we still need to reach the previous peak high, which are all the way up here. So we're good. We still know we're in an uptrend. We had 2 months of rise. This month being the third month, are we expecting price to give us that third push? Again, I'm not expecting it because price did not give us a valid break of structure of these highs. It gave us the inducement. So this higher low that we see here is not a strong higher low. And again, we could see now on the lower time frames, what is price doing in these higher lows? It's just consolidating. It's just moving sideways. Right? It's just rejecting lows and rejecting highs since last week. We're just moving sideways. That's all price is doing right now. Right? So could we look for entries in these areas? Yeah, absolutely. Again, we know that price is inducing the lows, but do we have anything that is telling us that price is going to turn around? Not really. Right? On the 4-hour time frame, it's just trapping traders. Look how big this green candle was at one point. We have 2 minutes left for this 4-hour candle to close. At one point, it looked like a strong engulfing candle. This candlestick alone is 80 pips. And look what happened. Again, we're trading in a zone of consolidation. A zone of consolidation is an area where the market makers are trapping traders. How many traders do you think are trapped right now in these trades? Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. We see that from a mile away. That's why we don't play with those areas. Right, GJ, we already gave the breakdown for this one. Actually, we did a fucking hour breakdown on GJ. I don't even want to look at this pair anymore for the night. Right, again, no valid break of the lows just yet, just inducements. Gonna skip over that one. GU, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Just gonna skip over this one, but we know that we are in level 2, very similar to EU. We're in level 2 in an uptrend. We're trading at a higher high. Right, we're looking for a pullback. 4-hour time frame, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. So price is still in an uptrend on the 4-hour, but again, we're trading at an overall higher high. And then on the 30-minute, again, price gave us a change of character. It gave us the break of structure, lower low, lower high, and we're still trading between this lower high and this lower low. All right, we had this lower low, lower high, lower low. We're trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. Structurally, what do we see? Price is just moving sideways. Yesterday we finished on a no net, where again it's just price moving sideways. Today we finished on a slight low, on a slight drop. It almost was a no net. Alright, so nothing on GU for me for right now. NZD USD, we are in A2, second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the bottom. Again, price gave us an inducement of the low. This is not a break, so I am not looking for price to give us a lower high to continue into a lower low. I'm expecting a little bit of a steeper pullback, or we'll be looking for price to turn around. Once we start making lower lows and lower highs, that's when we'll start looking to take these trades again. And on the 30-minute time frame, we had the change of character, lower low, lower high. We had the break of structure, lower low, lower high. Price gave us that third push back down to the bottom, which is here, right? You can see that none of these candles gave us a valid break of structure the entire time. And again, we'll zoom in so you guys can see this. This red candle, testing. This red candle is not touching the break of structure line, but it never closed below the red wick, right? So this is still a testing candle. Price came back up, came back down here. This candle testing. This candle closed below the break line, but what didn't it do? It never closed below. Testing candle. Came back up, came back down. This red candle testing. All of these candles here are testing, came back up. That's it. We're still testing the lows. We do not have a valid break. And this is the reason why I cannot say that we were trading lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh, lower high, we're going to catch these trades to go back down. And what happened? Straight to stop loss. Straight to stop loss. Guys, it's that easy. Again, I feel like every time I explain this, I feel like I can't be more specific as to what I already am. Like, this shit really is not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. Right? Price gave us change of character. And that's it. Still gotta wait it out. Right? So now, Albert, for you. Where am I putting my high? My box. The highest, the top of the red box, right? The top of the rectangle goes to the highest point at the high. The bottom of the box goes to the body of the candle. But again, this is a very small zone. So instead of just using it, instead of putting it at this candle, I'm going to put it here. And this gives me enough room, just in case we need to put a stop loss, just in case, you know, if anything happens, right? We'll have a 4 pip stop loss instead of having just a little miniature 1 pip stop. Gives price enough room to give you an inducement. It gives you enough area for price to give you what it has to give you, right? And at the lows, at this point from here to here, we already know that the lows, this is the lowest point at these lows, this red wick, and this is a pretty big zone, right? So this is a good box. And you can see that this entire zone, price came down, gave you the retest, and just continued to push to the top side after it gave you the inducements. Right? So we already know that for NZD USD, not trading this just yet. Going on to the next one. US 30. Man, US 30, man. Really excited for US 30. 2 days of rise. Damn, but STP's already hit. Nothing to update here. Same thing. We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a lower low. Right, we're trading between this 30-minute low and this 30-minute high. I have nothing to update here. STP's already hit too at that point. USD CAD already hit STP as well, but we know that we're trading over here, this higher low and these higher highs over here. USD ZAR, I'm surprised USD ZAR didn't move as much as USD CAD. Still in a zone of consolidation, so I'm not trading this just yet. Gold. I would have loved to have seen gold entries today, man, but we didn't get those entries, so it's all good. Just delete this. We had, what I wanted to see was, before price gave us the fill for the gap, I wanted to see an entry on the 5-minute, but we never got it. It missed it by a few pips twice. It missed it by 24 pips, went down, filled the gap, and then came back up. But that's all I wanted to see on gold. I just wanted to see price fill that gap up for the day. No, what did I delete there? Oh yeah, that 30-minute gap's already filled. We could delete that. Trend line, brush. Alright, I want to delete this. Where's this at? Price gave us a day of rise. It gave us 2 days of rise. For Friday, looking for that third day push, and it gave us that third day push already. Could be a good one. Now I'm going to be targeting these gaps at these highs over here. Similar structure to AU, just a little bit different. I wouldn't call this a type 1 pattern. Multi-session type 1 pattern now. It's just following structure at this point for gold. Bitcoin, perfect. Bitcoin, we know we're looking for a break on the daily time frame. Let's see if we got it. Right, daily time frame, did we get the break? Yes. Again, this is the daily high. This candle is testing. This candle is testing because it's still touching the break of structure line. Price came down. This green candle is testing, still touching the break. This green candle is testing, still touching the break, came down. This green candle here, still touching the break, still touching, is testing. This one is still testing. When did we get the break? When this green candle broke above, closed above the wicks, and we're not touching the break of structure line. So perfect. We got the daily break. We got the higher high. We know that we're going to continue these uptrend pushes for Bitcoin. Perfect. We had 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week, price gave us a beautiful third week push to the top side. We also had a 4-hour higher high and higher low. At the higher high, did we get the valid break? Right? You can see that price never reached these highs until this candle. Boom. This candle testing. We didn't get the valid break until this green candle closed above the wick and is not touching the break of structure line. So at this point, we know that we're trading now between this higher high and this higher low on the 4-hour time frame. Which again, the low, the top of the box, I'm going to put it at the body of the red candle, the last red candle before the push to the top side, but the lowest point is the green wick. So we know that we're trading between this higher low here and these higher highs at the top. And on the 30-minute time frame, we had 2 days of rise. Today being the third day push, it gave us a bounce off the 50 EMA to continue that push to the top side. Perfect trade today. Perfect? No, because we did not have the valid breaks before that push to get that entry. And that's the reason I didn't take these trades, because we did not have a valid break. We didn't get the valid break until today. So that's okay. I'm okay with missing this trade. Why? Well, because price has to come down and give you a higher low. This is when I'll take the trade to continue. Right? And these trades are going to continue back to the top side. Whether the higher low is here, wherever that higher low is set, we're going to have to wait for that higher low to be set to then take the trade at the higher low to continue into the higher high. And last but not least, guys, US oil. I appreciate you guys staying here for this long, man. I really do appreciate that. US oil, we were in A1, the first zone of consolidation. Price gave us the break. So we are now officially starting the level 2 push back down to the bottom. 4-hour time frame, no continuations on the daily. On the 4-hour, we're just kind of moving sideways. And on the 30-minute, why do I have a fib on my screen here? This is not, oh, what we were talking about last night in last night's session. Delete some of these drawings real quick. 30-minute time frame, we have higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us a change of character, lower low, lower high, gave us the break of structure, lower low. Right, I'm looking for a lower high, so US oil is the one on my watch list for today. Actually, US oil is the only pair that looked this good. Alright, so we'll wait it out. We'll see what price wants to do. It gave us a day of drop today. Right, this is looking like a pair for going into next week. Right, and again, level 2, what are we looking for? Level 2, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. We have a change of character, break of structure. What are we looking for? Looking for a retest. We're looking for a pullback. Where could this pullback be? Look at the 200 EMA, the white line, right on the 50% fib retracement. I'm going to be looking for price to give me lower low, lower high. I'll take a trade somewhere in this area to then continue back into the lower low. It's really that easy. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. We have no engulfing candles on the 15, no engulfing candles on the 30, no engulfing candles on the 1 hour. Right now, we're strictly looking at market structure. Right, on oil, we could see that price is giving us a 30-minute engulfing. It's giving us a 1-hour engulfing. Right, nothing on the 15, but 30 and the 1-hour have these engulfings here. So I think I get it now. At the higher low or lower low, it should be on the lowest wick, but on the first red candle, correct. It should be at the lowest wick. The bottom of the box should be at the lowest wick, the lowest low that you have there, and then the body of the last red candle before the push to the top side. That's pretty much it for tonight, guys. Any questions? Anything you want me to go over again? Anything you want me to explain? Anything you want me to draw out for you? Let me know. If not, that'll be it for tonight, guys, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. We'll see if we have anything left on the table. One thing I should do right now too is just look at STP and see what pairs are already done, so then tomorrow morning we have a better understanding as, not even a better understanding, but we'll just wake up tomorrow and we know that these pairs already did what they had to do, and we'll see which one's left. I'm actually gonna do that right now. 36 pips is STP for AUD, USD, and we already did 38 pips. So AU's already done for the day. AUD CAD is still good. EA is still good. ECAD 96 pips is ADR minus 33%. STP is 64 pips. 64 pips. We already did 66. So ECAD is already done for the day. EU 78 pips is ADR minus 33% is STP is 52 pips. And we already did 42. So we're still good on EU for now. Thanks a lot, bro. No problem, my brother. No problem. Good night. We'll see you later, my brother. GA is still good. GCAD 121 pips is ADR minus 33% is 81. This one still looks good, I think. 81 pips. We did 79. We're not gonna risk that. GCAD's already off for the day. GJ we're still good. GU we're still good. NZD USD 53 minus 33% is 35 pips. We already did 35 pips. NZD USD is done for the day. US 30 463 pips is ADR 33% is 310 pips, and we already did 303. We'll keep that on since it's a USD pair. USD ZAR is still good. Gold is still good. CAD already did STP too. Bitcoin is still good, and oil is still good. Alright, perfect. So we already know that for tomorrow, for right now at least, the only pairs that we have left for tomorrow that still have ADR and STP are AUD CAD, EA, EU, GA, GJ, GU, US 30, ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, and oil. So we still have a few pairs to keep an eye on for tomorrow, especially oil. Oil is definitely the number one on my list. So we'll keep an eye on it. Alright, this was on the 15, man. I was on the wrong time frame showing you guys the retracement, but it's similar, same thing. Just a little lower than the 15, but same exact area. I'll be looking for an entry somewhere here. Retest of the 200 EMA, the 50 cross below the 200, which is good. Lastly, is there a reason to the lower lot sizes, or is it just about the risk to profit ratio? That all just really is just about the risk to profit, right? Like if you're trading and you're looking at a pair, just give you a random example, right? You're looking at an entry, but the stop loss for that entry is 20 pips. You're obviously not going to enter that trade, with a 20 pip stop loss. You're not going to want to enter that trade with a $5 lot, $10 lot, right? A 20 pip stop loss is pretty tough, right? So you want to enter that with a lower lot size. Now, if you have an entry but the stop loss is anywhere between 5 to 10 pips, that's when you want to start using a higher lot size, right? Because you're able to risk a little bit more and you're going to be losing more or less the same amount. Right, because you're using a lower risk, right? Instead of risking 20 pips, you're only risking 5 to 10. So when you're risking 5 to 10 pips, you could go ahead and use a higher lot size. But that all pretty much also has to deal with what your account size is, how much you're risking, and at the end of the day too, what your win-loss ratio is. Because if you're losing 10 trades in a row before you even take one winning trade, if you're risking 10% and you already lost 10 trades, that's already 100% of your account. So that's also something that you have to take into consideration as a trader. You have to take into consideration your win-loss, right? How the word I'm not going to use the word successful. That's not the word I'm looking for, but it's just how good are your skills compared to what you're risking. Because again, if you're a trader that's losing 10 trades in a row, you cannot risk 10% per trade. You have to risk 1% per trade, 2% per trade, right? But if you're a trader that's not losing 10 trades before you win one, if you're losing one trade but winning 3, you could go ahead and risk 5%, 3%, 10%, 15%, whatever, right? Because you're going to win that back. So there's a couple things that you have to take into consideration, and then also your account size, right? If you don't have an account size above $1,000, you can't really trade with anything more than 50 cents, 75 cents. Right now, unless you're over leveraging, and depends on your broker if they allow you to over leverage that much anyway. But for the most part, a regular account, again, $1,000 trading account, a live trading account, you're not really allowed to use any more than a dollar lot size. Again, and that's talking about pairs like gold and US30, GJ. If you're trading a small pair, it's a little bit different, but long answer short, again, that's really your lot sizes all have to deal with, again, how many trades you're taking, how much you're losing before you win, the stop loss that your entry has, that you have to tie that all down to that. But keep it simple. Like if you look for an entry and all you want to risk is 1%, then you have to act accordingly, right? You have to make sure that your lot size complements how much you're risking. Right? If you only want to risk 1%, you're not going to be using a dollar lot size. If you're only going to lose 1%, you could only use 20 cents, 30 cents, 40-cent lot size, 15-cent lot size. Oh man, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today. It's kind of crazy. But I haven't been hungry all day until literally just now. My stomach just fucking went crazy. I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm hungry. I see. That's why prop account is good for beginners. At least you can have bigger account size. Yes and no. I don't agree with that. Um, and again, the reason why I don't really agree with this is because, again, at least for me, when I was learning how to trade, I didn't have $50. I didn't have, well, in this case, now you have accounts for $26. But same thing, like I didn't have $26 to be able to spend every time I needed to buy a new account. I didn't have that money when I was learning how to trade. So again, a lot of people in the trading industry, and for a good reason. Again, all these people you see on social media who look like they know how to trade, but they're telling you to go buy a prop account instead of trading demo. Why do you think they're telling you to go buy a prop account? Didn't you notice that the link that you clicked when they told you to go buy a prop account was an affiliate link for them to make money off of you? So I don't agree. I do not agree with prop firms being for beginners. That's not what a prop firm account is. Again, why would you buy a prop firm account? You don't know how to trade. Why would you buy a prop firm account? For what? Because you want to get lucky? You have 3 phases. You're not going to get lucky, or 2 phases, until you get your live account. Right? You're not going to get lucky 2 times in a row. And let's say you do get lucky 2 times in a row. You're not going to get lucky for that payout. Let's say you get lucky for your first payout. Okay, cool. Can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you do it again? That's the difference. So I don't agree with that. If you want to trade, open a demo account. You have all the brokers. It's for free. If you want to use KOT Forex, which is the broker that we use, that we've been using since fucking 2014, you could go through KOT. If you want to use Blueberry, if you want to use Pepperstone, if you want to use fucking whoever other broker that there is, they have free demo accounts. Go get a demo account. You go open a demo account with 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. If you want to open a demo with $1 million, you can open $1 million demo account. I mean, after trading the demo with 10 plus consistent trades. Gotcha. Yeah, no, once you feel comfortable enough, you know, once you see that you're consistently already taking profits on a demo account and you're happy with the results and you're confident in what you're looking at, then yeah, 100% it's a lot better to trade with a prop firm account. 1000%. There's no doubt about it. You know, especially again, trader like me, when I first was trading, I didn't have enough capital. Right? So if I would have known about prop firms when I first started trading, I didn't know about prop firms until what, maybe 2 years ago? If I would have known about prop firms, I would have definitely been using prop firms. Once I got out of my demo account to start trading live, I would have definitely used the prop firm accounts. So 100%. If you're a skilled trader already and you already proved yourself and you already see that you're taking trades and they're consistent trades and they're good trades every single time, then 100%. If you don't have the capital to start a live account, 100% buy a 5K account. That's what I did. My first ever prop firm that I passed was my Forex Funds, which is the prop firm that shut down. It was a 5K. It was a 5K account. My first payout was $950 on a 5K account. I used that $900, I put it on my live account, and I've been trading my live account since then. I got the skill. I used the skill to leverage out my capital with a prop firm. I used my first payout from my prop firm, put it on my live account, and I've been trading my live account since then. The second prop firm that I passed was Top Tier Trader. Same thing. Passed phase 1, passed phase 2, and I still remember it was a US oil trade in 2021, 2022, 2021, something like that. And that was another, I believe it was another 5K account, and that was a $1,200 payout. One trade on US oil. Same thing. Used the money for the prop, put it on my live account. The third firm that I got a certificate with, but we haven't gotten a payout, is funded by traders. But we haven't gotten a payout because I haven't traded on it. But we did pass it. We passed it, what, last month? No, it hasn't been, not last month. We passed it in May, April, something like that. But we haven't gotten a payout yet. But it's coming, man. I told you guys, that account is your guys', and nobody has been in the streams these last couple weeks, these last couple days, really. So I haven't been trading on the account. I've been waiting for you guys to be back. It's the account that's still in drawdown too. So I'll definitely be chipping at that account these next couple days though. Even without you guys, I'm gonna do it myself if I have to. I'm gonna bring this shit back. Good for content too. It'd be nice to post like, look how long we've had this account for, you know, yada yada yada, and then bring that shit back to life. So definitely doable. But yeah guys, any other questions? It was a nice session today, 2 hours, pretty long one for you guys, but it was a good one. Alright, my brother. Have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the live trading session, 6 a.m. Again, we'll go over, once we wake up, turn the stream on, we'll go over the pairs. If there's still something left on the table for us, once Asia session and London session passes, then we'll look for a trade, we'll look for an entry, we'll go on from there. But if we wake up tomorrow and we look at the chart and there's nothing left on the table for us, then that'll be it for us until Sunday. Sunday we do the weekly market breakdown here on YouTube. And then we'll be back Monday morning for the live trading session right after Sunday. And just a little reminder, not a reminder, I haven't told you guys, but next week is my what is he to me? I don't even know. What is he? Sister's kid? My nephew. He's my nephew's birthday. Coming up. It's a year old already. What a cutie pie. On the 15th. So I won't be home on, I don't know what the plan is yet. I don't know what time I'm leaving, but Monday I'm planning on, I don't think I'll do the isolation session on Monday. Or maybe I will and I'll just record it and I'll upload it for you guys. So it definitely won't be a live session on Monday. And then Tuesday's his birthday, I won't be home. I'm still bringing my PC though, because I still gotta work. So I will have my PC I'm driving down to Miami. I'm bringing all my shit, and I'll be leaving Monday evening. So then, Tuesday's the 15th, or is that Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah. So then Tuesday morning, we'll have the live trading session, and then the party and everything is Tuesday until like 6 or 7. So Tuesday session will probably start at around 7:30, 8 p.m. But we'll definitely have the session on Tuesday as well. So just wanted to give you guys a little heads up, just in case I'm late or just in case I don't do the session. But and then I'll be back home Tuesday. I'll leave Tuesday, or no, not Tuesday. I'm leaving on Wednesday. So Wednesday I'll do the live trading session in the morning from her house, and then I'll drive back up, and then we'll do the isolation session at 7 p.m. Alright guys, see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out.